Winter is coming. People like to say that right now. It's a good time to get your homes and your gardens ready for what could be a very wet season because, Vanessa, El Nino is in the mix.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people get intimidated when they hear the term El Nino.
I just think of Chris Farley when I hear El Nino.
I know, we were just discussing that off break. So, yes, we are expecting likely a wet winter. And water, as we all know, it's beneficial, but it could be very destructive. And although we can't control whether or not our homes are under a soak zone, we can certainly control how we prepare. What advice would you have for residents who have fences in their backyard that are leaning and would likely fail with a rain event? When it comes to preparing your home for future disaster,
you can buy stakes and just some baling cord and just put some stakes in the ground and attach to the fence just so that it doesn't blow over. But also you could call a fence company and have them inspect.
Greg Cantor is a good person to have in the Rolodex. With 42 years of home remodeling and design under his belt, he gave us great advice, including what to do if you find yourself in a wet weather emergency.
This is a submergible sump pump. If water's ponding, you just set this in and plug it in. It's completely waterproof.
A small device that can save you in a big pinch. But one thing more important than being prepared when the rain comes is preparing before it arrives. If you live on a hill or have soot, lay down a straw wattle like this. It could prevent debris from running onto the sidewalks and streets. Greg added that if you or someone in your home is comfortable enough, just use a 6-foot ladder. Check your rain gutters for any debris to clear it out. And you can even go a step further and check your drainage systems, see if there's any standing water, and use a high-pressure hose to get that standing water out. Calling roofers ahead of a storm could also prevent damage.
If you have attic access, get a step ladder, open up the attic access, and during the day look around. And if you see daylight coming through, then that's a good sign that your roof may be worn out.
I also stopped at Olivewood Gardens in National City to chat about what you should do for your garden and landscapes.
Put down a lot of mulch to try to hold the water from running off and also to help hold some of that moisture.
Leonard Vargas is a director of gardens and facilities here.
As we get rainstorms coming through, typically we turn our clocks off for 48 hours after a significant rainstorm. And then if we have back-to-back rainstorms, we just leave them off until we have about 2, 3, 4 clear days.
He also said pruning ahead of the winter season is key.
When you need trees, you want to make sure that you're opening them up when you prune them so that wind can go through them without causing any breakage.
One example is a spicus tree. You can already tell that the branches are really heavy, and adding water would make them even heavier. Pruning them would prevent them from breaking off, potentially hurting something or someone. And if you have a tree in the ficus, eucalyptus, or Melaleuca family that you're concerned about, call a certified arborist. Overall, the #1 tip that Vargas and Cantor shared, stay proactive and prepare early. Now, that was already a really long story about weather prep, but one thing that he added that I wasn't able to put in, but it is in my web script, he had a cistern, a 2,500-gallon cistern, and I don't know, I'm sure you can recall last year we had 13 atmospheric rivers pummel through San Diego County. He was able to fill that cistern up, and he was actually able to grow his blueberry garden at Olivewood Gardens due to all the rainfall that was collected. So if you're able to manage...
You don't have to get a 2,500
Exactly.
gallon,
you don't need a 2,500 gallon, just again, a barrel, anything that can hold water and you can manage it. It goes a long way. And of course, conserve, 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 and reuse the water. That's always important to note, especially if you want to be on the eco-friendly side. So,
all right, and you were saying earlier some areas could get as much as 4 inches. So when you think about all that funding into just like one barrel, you could get a lot of water this week.
Yeah, again, I'm eco-conscious, so I absolutely love tips like that. And yes, Leonard and Greg gave amazing tips. It's all online as well on 10news.com.